Well, welcome in, folks. This is the 5 Keys to a Successful Retirement. I'm your host, Coach Pete, joined with Zach Zager. He's from Austin, Texas. Zach, welcome in.
Thank you.
Got a really good series we put together here for folks. So
Yeah.
I hope people have some like coffee or tea or a soft drink, and they're pulling up to the screen and going to watch this because it's going to be very valuable for them in the future. Let's talk about the 5 keys, though. There's 5 big ones we've identified.
Yeah.
One is looking at the difference between accumulation and distribution. Can you explain that to folks?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at your money, well, they say change is the only constant in life, right? And a lot of people don't realize that there's actually 4 stages that your money's going to go through.
Okay.
The first stage is when you get your first job. You're probably in your 20s, and you go in and meet with that HR director, and they ask you if you want to start contributing to a retirement plan, like a 401k.
Right.
Well, that's the contribution phase.
Okay.
Where you're going to start taking a certain percentage of every paycheck that you earn on a monthly basis and start investing that money.
Right.
And you don't want to put that money under your mattress, right? You want it to go to work for you, and that's stage 2, the accumulation phase. That's where you're investing every single month. Your money's growing on some basket of investments that you put your money into, and you do that for a long time. You get very comfortable with that stage. You know, that's
So put as much money as you can in, try to save on taxes. A lot of times people are doing while they're putting money in, and basically shifting your thinking, though, happens when you reach maybe an age 55 or so. I call it the financial red zone. When you start to think, gosh, I've been working now for 30 years. When am I going to retire, and how am I going to retire?
Yep, the retirement red zone, right? That's 5 years before you're retired and 5 years after.
Yep.
And it's, that's where we see people get the most trouble, because they don't recognize that you've been doing something for 30 years, 40 years, and overnight you're supposed to shift your mind shift to...
It's hard to break a habit.
Right.
It is.
You need to shift the way your mind's been thinking for that long, because now it's about distribution.
It is.
And that means that it's probably the investments you were using during the accumulation phase aren't necessarily the same investments you want to use during the distribution phase.
Well, you want to limit your financial risk as you get older, because you don't have enough time to rebuild things you lose.
Right. And how people get in trouble, when they're in that contribution and that accumulation phase, that's called dollar cost averaging.
Right.
Where a certain percentage of your paychecks going in every single month to buy a basket of investments. And when you experience market corrections during that time frame, sometimes market corrections aren't necessarily a bad thing, because you've got time on your side, and you've always heard the term buy low, right? Well, if we have market correction, you're able to buy more units or more positions with the same amount of money.
More shares of stock, more whatever,
shares of
right?
stock or whatever.
Yeah, and a lot of people, though, I've seen this happen in my financial life, is when the market starts to go down, people start to freeze what they put in their 401k. They're getting scared, so we don't want to put any new money in. That is financial suicide almost. That's the best time to be putting money in.
You should be doing.
Yeah, and then there's also a strategy that needs to be developed as we get to retirement, to sequence the way you take money out to make sure you don't outlive that money.
Correct. And if you're invested in the wrong types of investments, like you were using the same exact investments you were using during the accumulation phase, we call that dollar cost ravaging. Because now, instead of contributing money every single month, you're taking money out. Because if the markets are down 20, 30%, do your bills go down 20 or 30%?
No, they probably go up a little bit. Yeah, they're never going down.
So you're needing the same amount of money, but yet now you're having to sell at a low, which means you have to sell more positions to meet your monthly income spending.
Which is, we call that financial suicide after a while.
Suicide.
It's a downward cycle and not a good thing.
Yeah.
So let's look at the way that, if done right, though, people can have confidence knowing they'll never run out of money in retirement if they design the proper retirement plan, correct?
That's correct. There are investments that are out there that are specifically built for this stage of your life, the distribution phase. And we can take, retirees' number one worry is running out of money.
It is.
And if we're using the right type of investments, we can take that worry off the table for them.
So, and it's just about making sure you have a plan. And a lot of folks watching probably don't have that plan. The plan right now is just put as much money away as possible and hopefully watch that lump sum build up. But folks, the main thing you need to do is have that distribution strategy that will give you the lifetime income you can never outlive. And I know Zach and his team do a great job of making sure you have the proper plan for the proper time of your life. Is there any other final things you want to add to this first key?
I would just say, we understand that when you hit this stage, it's a big change. There's a lot of anxiety, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help to give you confidence, to make sure you're not making any wrong moves. This is what we do. We've helped hundreds of clients, and we're wanting to help you along your journey as well.
See the number on the screen, folks? All you have to do is give it a call, and Zach will be giving you a call back to set up your proper plan for the proper time of your life.